The USS Nimitz Aircraft Carrier, once the pride of the United States Navy, was now a shadow of its former self. Stuck in port for weeks on end, the massive vessel was still in serious trouble, with no end in sight to its woes. The crew, once the envy of sailors around the world, now looked tired and defeated, as they struggled to keep the aging ship afloat. As rumors of decommissioning circulated, and the once mighty carrier seemed destined for the scrapyard, a sense of sadness and loss hung over the dockyard. How had it come to this? What had gone wrong? And was there any hope for the USS Nimitz and its crew? Only time would tell, as the ship's fate hung in the balance. The USS Nimitz, one of the United States Navy's nuclear-powered aircraft carriers, is still stuck in port due to a contaminated drinking water problem. The issue, discovered by the ship's crew, affected the ship's entire water supply and forced the USS Nimitz to source water from the city of San Diego, where the carrier is at port. Nimitz's scheduled underway date from NAS North Island was postponed in order to conduct further testing and evaluation of its potable water system. The ship has been connected to the city of San Diego's water supply since September 17 and continues to provide fresh water to the crew. The health and well-being of our sailors is a top priority, and the internal potable water system remains offline until we can be certain it can produce the highest quality water to the crew, U.S. Navy personnel said in a statement. Laboratory tests were conducted on wastewater samples taken on September 19 upon Nimitz's arrival at Naval Air Station North Island. Those tests did not detect measurable amounts of fuel hydrocarbons in the wastewater, the statement continued. Additional testing was conducted September 21 on water samples from the ship's potable water tanks, which yielded detectable traces of hydrocarbons. The USS Nimitz is the lead ship of the Nimitz-class nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. Commissioned in 1975, the carrier is approaching a half-century of service, and the U.S. Navy plans to retire the ship sometime in 2025. The crew immediately took action to secure access to the ship's potable water and provide bottled water to the crew. After conducting a thorough flush and inspection of its potable water system, fresh water has been restored to the ship. The water on board the ship is safe for use, and the health and well-being of all of our sailors is a top priority, a spokesman for Naval Air Forces said to USNI News earlier this month. The upcoming class of American naval aircraft carriers, the Ford class, will supersede the Nimitz-class carriers and is expected to be a much more capable naval aviation platform. However, despite their usefulness at sea, the proliferation of long-range anti-ship missiles has challenged the aircraft carrier's supremacy. However, the Ford class is expected to leverage new, future capabilities that could offer large, nuclear-powered carriers a significant defensive advantage. Given the Ford-class significant electrical power generation capabilities, future carriers are expected to leverage powerful laser weapons with an unlimited magazine depth. For now, however, the United States Navy must contend with a fleet of aging carriers that have grown long in the tooth since their introduction in service in the 1970s and 1980s. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks turned into months, the fate of the USS Nimitz remained uncertain. But through it all, the crew persevered, working tirelessly to keep the ship afloat and hoping for a miracle. And finally, after what seemed like an eternity, that miracle arrived. A team of engineers, working day and night, managed to fix the critical issue that had kept the Nimitz stuck in port for so long. With a sense of relief and elation, the crew prepared to set sail once again, determined to reclaim their place as one of the most powerful naval forces in the world. Though the future was still uncertain, the sailors of the USS Nimitz knew that they had faced their greatest challenge and emerged victorious.